All right, good evening, everyone. This is for CompTIA A plus Core 1, Core 2. It's a 4 weeks exam preparation course. We're going to get started. I know all you guys' mics are muted right now, so I'm just going to keep it as muted. And we are going to allow people to ask questions towards the end. But the reason why I have you unmuted is because we want to get started on the course. We are very on a time crunch here. We want to make sure we cover as much topic for the exam itself, okay? And I will let you guys ask questions. Please take a notebook so you can take some notes. This class is being recorded and it will be uploaded to our LMS. You guys will all receive an access to our LMS within the next 24 to 48 hours, 1 to 2 days, because we do have a lot of people who join this class. We have about, I believe it's around 32 people. Close to and so approximately 32 people, and I know some of them could not join us online live, which is fine. A lot of people are joining right now. Please, you guys join and settle in. Not a problem at all. We'll get started. Now, in this course, we're going to be focusing on passing the CompTIA A plus core. The first part is going to be Core 1, and Core 1 is split up into two different portions. And Core 2 is also split up into two different portions, okay? Just like how I mentioned to you guys in the 15 minutes video that I've created and shared with you guys, okay? So thank you so much, guys. Please stay put and get some note papers and you can take some notes. I know this might be overwhelming and a lot of lecture in this class because we are covering all the concept. You just need to pass the exam itself, okay? And usually, please watch these classes a couple of times for you to get familiarized with the terminologies and acronyms and also as well as concept, okay? With A plus exam is that it's mostly about concept and understanding the concept because the thing is when you go to the exam, a lot of the questions will seem like they're seem like there's four right answer, but it just depends on process of elimination and probably small nuances, okay? So we're going to get started on Core 1. For today, we're going to get started on day 1, which is Core 1, Module 1.0. In Core 1, there's 5 modules, just like I explained in my introduction video. So for the people who are joining, please stay settled and watch the video. And for you, if you do disconnect, this video is being recorded, so you guys um, will be able to join. Um, Give me 1 second here. So if you guys do want to send a message, the chat box is open for you guys, so you guys can message. If you guys having any sort of hard time hearing me, please do let me know in the message. That way we can go ahead and do it, okay? But I will allow for answering questions towards the end of the class, okay? So, okay, if you guys can hear me, just someone just please put in, yes, we can hear in the chat box, please. Yeah, you guys all will get access to the recording, okay? Don't worry. Perfect. Okay, so I got a verification that you guys can hear me. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Okay. So I'm gonna close the chat box just so we don't get interrupted between. And you guys, okay. Fahad said he can't hear. It's probably because Fahad's computer issue. So Fahad's probably just your speaker issue. I would want you to disconnect and reconnect maybe. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna turn off the chat box for now, and then we're gonna get started. Okay. Okay. So the first module that we're gonna be covering is actually called Module 1.0 mobile devices, okay? And this is going to be your first module. This is day 1. We're going to be covering this, and we're going to be covering another module, which is virtualization as well, once we're done this. And this will take us approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes to complete, and you guys will have the time to ask questions. And as I said, we won't go so deep into them for understanding. We're covering for the exam, okay? So whatever you need to know to pass the exam, this course is about covering for the exam itself. Okay, so let's get started. And then I'll explain to you about some other process towards the end of the class. Okay. So The first one is called installing and configuring a battery replacement in a laptop. This is for mobile devices, which include laptops, cell phones, tablets, as well. Okay. So we're going to talk about laptops. So installing and configuring battery replacement in a laptop. The first thing you must always do is power off the laptop completely, disconnect the AC adapter before beginning any battery replacement procedures. Step two is refer. Refer to the laptop service manual, locate the battery compartment, disassemble whether the battery is removable externally or requires disassembly. Okay. The third step is use proper ESD, which is electric static discharge protection. This is for protecting against static electricity. Okay, wear an anti-static wrist strap to prevent damage to sensitive components. There's something called the anti-static wristband, which you guys can look up, and you'll see it's a small blue color wristband that you put on and gets attached to a ground on a pipe or on there's usually a grounding device at your home you can connect it to. And the last step is allow. After installing the battery, allow the new battery to charge fully before first use. This help proper collaborate the battery. Okay, calibrate the battery. Installing and configuring a keyboard replacement in a laptop. Power off the laptop and make sure it's powered off completely. Disconnect the AC adapter. Remove the battery before beginning the keyboard replacement. Document and remove. That's the second step, which is carefully document and remove any screws, bezels, or trim pieces. These parts secure the keyboard to laptop chassis. Use. When disconnecting the keyboard ribbon cable, use cautious. Use a proper technique, typically releasing a zip connector latch. Avoid damaging the cable or connector. The last step is test. After installing the keyboard, test all keys. Test before reassembling remaining components to ensure proper functionality. The next one is installing and configuring RAM replacement in a laptop. Power off the laptop completely, unplug the AC adapter, remove the battery before beginning the RAM replacement procedure. And I would say, I would add on to this as a personal suggestion is once you disconnect the power, once you have removed the battery, press the power button on the laptop to make sure you have fully discharged anything that's in the capacitor. Okay, that is something very must. Now, the second step is locate the RAM access panel, usually on the bottom of the laptop, remove it from consulting the service manual for your specific module. Okay. Third is align. Align the notch in the RAM module with the key in the slot. Insert the module at a 30 to 45-degree angle. Press down until the retention clip engages. The fourth and last part is after installation, verify the new RAM is properly recognized. Check in the BIOS or UEFI and within the operating system itself that the new one is showing. Okay. The next is installing and configuring SSD replacement in a laptop. Power off the laptop completely, disconnect the AC adapter, remove the battery before installing the SSD replacement component. So pretty much any component that you guys remove, just make sure you do follow the steps of powering off the laptop completely, removing the AC, and then disconnecting the battery. Okay, this is something it's very important. And I would add that my fourth step is to make sure to press the power button on the laptop a couple of times with everything disconnected. So from the capacitor, you're releasing any sort of residual energies. Okay. The second step is access. Access the storage compartment, typically on the bottom of the laptop. Remove the appropriate access panel after consulting the service manual. Third is backup. Physically install before physical installation. Sorry. Before physical installation, create a backup of your existing data drive. Prepare installation media for the operating system if needed. Installation. After installing the new SSD, you may need to initialize the disk, create partition, format the drive, install the operating system. So just for the exam, guys, the installation part, it's something that a lot of people have notified us before that these four steps are needed, okay? And these are, you must be able to notify them in the exact same order, which is initialize the disk, create the partition, format the drive, install the operating system. Okay, these are the four things, and you must have this in the same order. Okay, and these are usually drag and drop to set them in the correct order. So this is a pointer. Okay, and this is recorded, so you guys can refer to it after. Installing and configuring HSD, which is hard drive replacement in a laptop. So the difference between a hard disk and an SSD is both are storage, but one is called solid state drive and one is called a hard disk. Okay, which is the difference is in a hard disk, it's more older, it's more traditional drive, which has a spinning disk, as you guys can see here. Okay, which means the data write and read is much slower, and it's but it's meant to last longer. Okay, and in case of drive failure, you can recover documents from a hard disk, and it is almost impossible to recover documents from a ssd. Okay, that's something you guys need to remember, and it's something that it is there in the exams for sometimes. Okay, so hard drive is easier for data recovery, and ssd is very hard for data recovery, or almost it's impossible. Okay, it's very hard. Power off. So if you're replacing the hard disk, power off the laptop completely, disconnect the AC adapter, remove the battery before beginning the HDD replacement procedure. Locate and remove. Locate and remove the hard drive access panel on the bottom of the laptop. This typically requires removing a few screws and or sliding out of a caddy system. Backup. Before installing the new hard drive, create a backup of all important data from the old drive. Ensure you have access to the necessary operating system, installing media available. After physical installation, you will need to initialize a disk, create a partition, format the drive using disk manager or during installation, OS installation. Okay. The next is called installing and configuring wireless card, replacing in a laptop. And usually this is what a wireless card look like. It's a very small device. I'll show you guys in my hand. If you guys can probably see, this is what's called a Wi-Fi device itself. Okay, this is what's in your laptop that allows you to connect to Wi-Fi. And if you can see here, there's actually two different prongs here. Okay, and these are the prongs that you'll see. And sometimes they're called as A and B or one or two. It depends on the manufacturer itself. And this is where your antenna will connect, and I'll show you guys where the antenna is located. Okay, so this says aux1 and main 2, right? So this is what the connection is. This is called a Wi-Fi card. Okay, so same thing, you're gonna make sure you power off the laptop completely, disconnect the AC adapter, remove the battery before beginning the wireless card replacement. Locate and disconnect. Locate the wireless card compartment, usually accessed from the bottom of the laptop. Some of them right now nowadays they're on the top, so it depends on the manufacturer. Always look at the technical documentation or the disassembly guide from the manufacturer itself. Okay, that's something that you guys must be looking before you guys start opening up the laptop. And you might ask, do I have to open up the laptop? Right, the reason is because a lot of corporate side, they do want you to do certain amount of fixes on the spot, and certain things you do send it off to Dell or HP or Lenovo to do the repair, right? But like RAM upgrade, SSD upgrade, Wi-Fi card replacement, Windows installation. Those are some things that they want you to do in house, and you must have some sort of knowledge about it. You might not necessarily have a hands-on experience, which is fine. As long as you understand the proper procedure, it's easy for them to teach you. Okay, that's the basic understanding of A plus. So next is installing. Install the new wireless card at a 30-degree angle into the mini PCIe or M.2 slot. Secure it with a retention screw. Test. After installing and reassembly, you may need to install the driver's device-specific driver. So what is a device-specific driver? It's basically a specialized software that is created by the manufacturer of the Wi-Fi card, okay? And it allows your Windows operating system or your any operating system to communicate with the device itself. Okay, this ensures full functionality of the new wireless card. And sometimes, guys, just to let you guys know, sometimes you don't need to install it. With the latest Windows like Windows 11 and Windows 10, it tends to pick up the proper Wi-Fi drivers by itself from default. In case if it doesn't, that's when you have to use another computer to go to the manufacturer site of this chip and then download it from there. Okay. So next is installing and configuring a biometric replacement in a laptop. And these are something that you will see in a corporate environment. And my laptop is a corporate computer. Mine do. It's a corporately enabled computer. So mine do have a biometrics, and that also has a Face ID as well. Okay. So in case of if it fails, you will need to know how to replace them. So same thing, power off the device completely, disconnect the AC adapter, and remove the battery before beginning the biometrics device replacement. Document document the location and routing of the ribbon cables. Usually, I suggest take a photo when we train for when we train our service desk, our desktop technicians. We tell them to take photos and to make sure it's documented so it can go back the same way how you took it off. Okay, initially. Do this when you're removing the original biometric device, typically a fingerprint reader or a face recognition camera. Okay. Installing the driver. After physical installation, install the required device driver. Install any necessary security software for the biometrics authentication system. The last and fourth step is configuration. Configure the biometric device through the operating system security settings or use the detection biometrics enabled software. Next is installing and configuring a near field scanner replacement in a laptop. And a lot of corporate laptop do have them. They're part of a card that you can place on, almost like an ID card that allows you to unlock the computer. These are also called NFS or NFC, NFC or NFS cards. Okay, near field communication scanner. So these are, and if your laptop does have them, you'll have a certain sign like this. It'll just be a card with a wavy icon. Okay, my laptop does this from my laptop, my Dell, but it has this, and I can place a corporately enabled card or authentication card on it, and it allows me to unlock my computer. Okay. So same thing, you power off the laptop, you disconnect the adapter, remove the battery before beginning the installation field scanner replacement, NFC near field scanner replacement. Consult the service manual to locate the NFC module. It is typically positioned under the palm rest or near the touchpad area in a modern laptop. And the reason why you will have to consult your service manual is because you want to know what part number you need to order. The two ways of getting the part number is from your service manual if it's available, or when you open up the laptop itself, on the part, you'll see a part number, okay? Just like this one over here, this Wi-Fi antenna card I showed you, this itself has a part number on it that we can actually get and search online, which would be part of the serial number or actually the model number, okay? It says Intel model 8265NGW. That's the model exactly that I'll look if I'm looking for a replacement itself, okay? But your service manual will have the model number in place, so you don't have to open them up. You can have it before you place an order from Dell, HP, Lenovo, or any other manufacturer. Okay. Note: when removing the original NFC antenna, carefully note the routing path and the connection method. Improper reinstallation can significantly reduce the scanning range and reliability. Okay. Because NFC, the scanning range is only 2 or 3 centimeters. Okay, so you do have to put the thing pretty damn close to the device itself for it to work properly. So if you don't align it properly, the 2 or 3 centimeter will not work. Okay, so you have to make sure you properly place it. And sometimes I've seen technician when they do place it, it doesn't sit flush, and that's why I always tell make sure before you take it off, feel it how it is, take a look at it from a different angle to see, make sure it's sitting properly, right? And then you'll take it off. That way, when you put it back in, make sure you check the same angle to make sure it's put it back in the same place. Okay. And to be very honest, guys, and very frank, in the last 3 years, 4 years, we never seen an NFC getting replaced anytime recently. We never even seen the Wi-Fi card, barely ever get replaced. Okay, but it's just good to know as a knowledge itself. Biometrics does not ever get replaced. I never seen in almost 13 years of me being in a corporate level IT, I never seen a biometric scanner ever get replaced unless it's external. There's something called an external biometric scanner that usually hospitals and everything they use. It's a USB device. All you do, you just throw the USB device away. You don't fix it. You just replace. Okay. And that's what you'll notice in a lot of these corporate environment is a lot of it is just replacement rather than repairing the part itself. Okay, you just replace. But you need to understand the proper procedure of replacing. Okay. So this is where the Wi-Fi antenna is located. This is your Wi-Fi card. Okay. This is your Wi-Fi card. But your Wi-Fi antenna, and this is why it's so tricky, and usually your antenna is okay. You never need to replace unless you actually end up stripping the cable when you try to dismantle the laptop itself. It's actually behind the screen itself. So you have to remove the bezel, you have to remove the screen, and then go to the back. Okay, and nowadays a modern laptop, the screen is so thin. It's very very thin, so, and it's glued to the back panel over here because it's not holding by screws. It's glued. So when you remove it, there's a higher chance of you damaging the screen, which is $400 for the screen itself. Okay, to go ahead and replace the antenna. The antenna barely. As I said, in 12 to 13 years, I never seen antenna by itself go wrong without a human interaction with it. Okay, meaning a technician tried to dismantle something and then they rip the cable or something like that. Right, that's when you have to go and replace it. But the antenna itself never goes bad. These chips, yeah, once in occasion they do go bad, and usually Dell, HP, or Lenovo, you can order them. They're about 30, $40, but your company will place an order for you. You don't have to place an order. You just tell them the part number, your purchasing department will place an order, okay? But mobile device Wi-Fi antenna are typically internal and built into the frame itself, or around the edge of the screen. Antennas are connected to the wireless network interface via a small coaxial connector, often UFL or MHF type. And you do have to remember these. Okay, there's both. They'll ask you what are the type of connector that connects to a wireless network card on a laptop. You have to remember it's U.FL or MHF type. Okay, that's the coaxial connection type. And these are these tiny, tiny, tiny connection type over here. Okay, I don't know if I can zoom into that. They're that typically that very small kind of type. They're called the coaxial. Okay, U.FL or MHF types. Proper placement is crucial to maintain a signal strength and avoid interference from other components. So how you stick them on top of the screen is very important. Usually they already become placed by the manufacturer itself, so you're never playing around. But the distance does matter, okay? Because there's two different antennas. It does have to be placed properly, even if one is not working or one is not sticked in. It doesn't work properly, okay? Replacing or reseating antenna requires care to avoid damaging dedicated connectors or cables. The antenna itself, you'll see a small board. If you see here, there's a small board over here, logic board over here, and then you see this tape over here, right? Like it's like a silver tape. This is actually part of the antenna as well, the silver tape. So you do have to be careful when you're removing this. You do have to apply a lot of heat and alcohol to remove this and put it back properly with the proper glue. Okay, or if you rip this too, it doesn't just stop working, but you'll just get slightly less. You might see a slight reduction in your signal range, maybe by 5 or 10%. Okay, it doesn't add big amount, but it does. You will see a 5 to 10% signal range direction. It's not too big. Okay, replacing antenna issues can cause weak Wi-Fi signals, dropped connection, or failure to detect network. Okay, webcams are cameras on a mobile device. Usually not this one over here. On mobile device, you'll see this, right? So part of your laptop, if you guys are using laptops, you will see this built-in webcam on almost all computers. There's some computers nowadays, it still comes with no webcam. And I think they're the high-end gaming laptop. They do not have a built-in webcam for some reason. I don't know why, but they're the Asus one. It's very strange that I've seen that. But usually, a camera and webcam in a mobile device hardware and replacement. How do you replace them? Camera and webcam in a mobile device are typically modular and connect via ribbon cable or a small connector. Most devices have both front-facing selfie or rear-facing main camera on a mobile device itself. Okay, not on a laptop, on a mobile device. On a laptop, you only have a front-facing camera. Okay, replacing a camera often requires removing the screen or the back panel, depending on the device and design. So on a laptop, you have to remove the front panel to access it. Your service manual will have how to exactly remove it. And be guys, and don't try to be a hero and try to do without reading service manual. You will regret it because these things, some of the parts, if you damage like the front plate, it's so cheap to replace, so you might not be able to find a replacement, right? So at a corporate environment, you don't want to do that, and you don't want to look like you're not reading the service manual before you service the laptop. Okay, so replacing a camera often requires moving the screen and or the back panel, depending on the device design. Camera modules are fragile and can be damaged by static or improper handling. And these laptop ones, they're like a thin board itself. Okay, so you have to be careful when you take them because even when I was young, when I was doing some replacement, and I did have A plus before, and this was so thin that when I tried to put in, I actually snapped it in half. And these look literally like I'll show you. I'll just show you an image of it so you guys can see. But it's so thin that that they're just like this. They're just like a small piece of thing that goes on top, right? So you can actually snap it and you won't even know, and you're just like, why the hell it's not working? And then you'll just notice that there's a small crack, and it's these are very tiny. They're like half of the size of my finger, so it's very tiny. Okay, so just be careful when you handle them. Dedicate them with care, and just take the time on replacing them. Okay, don't do them in a rush. And one more thing that I will tell you, if you are a lot of you guys getting A plus might not even do hardware repair. It's needed for your licensing to get a job and get approved. But you might not even open up a laptop, right? You might just send it in for service, but you do need to understand the concept about it. Okay. The common camera issues, including blurry image, failure to open, or the app crashes during the uses. The first thing you always do when you have issues with the webcam, you would go onto the laptop's manufacturer site and then download the driver for it. Okay, and I'll show you just as a sample here. If I was to go here with my Dell laptop here, and I'll show you Dell, and it's the same thing for pretty much any manufacturer itself. Okay, so if I go to if I go to google.com and type in Dell drivers, and I have the 5410, Dell Latitude 5410. Okay, you'll have to search up by model number or serial number as well. So this is the laptop. This is my laptop I'm teaching you guys on, but I could have searched by serial number as well, okay? And serial number is usually on the back of the device. So you can do the automatic update, which is a lot of people do. It's okay to do the automatic update, but I'll tell you specifically just one driver if you want to do it. You just go find specific driver. You just have to pick what operating system you have, and you can actually see a category, and you can go in here and get anything that you think it's thing, right? So I'm thinking it's part of video. So you see here, this is Iris Pro Graphic Diver. Intel, this is usually the UHD Iris. This one is probably the webcam, I believe. Graphics, no, this is graphics card. This one might not have the webcam by itself. It's probably input device storage. And I can, you know what, it's this device. Let me just, oh. So optimize application, chipset, and these are the drivers, and you just look for the exact one you need. Or you can let the system figure it out for yourself too. I'll just show you here quickly. I don't think mine's is separate. I think it's part of the package, so I can get it separately. I'm just trying and see if there is something separate. No, so mine does not have separately, but you can do automatic search. This is easy, and you just click on check for update. This will download a software. You have to do this Dell. You have to go to Dell. HP. You have to go to HP. Lenovo. You just have to go to Lenovo. The manufacturer site. All manufacturer site will host driver, and they have to give you the drivers for it. Okay, it's not an option. It is a must. Okay. All right. Sorry. Camera modules are fragile and can be damaged by static or improper handling, which are covered. Okay, perfect. Microphone in a mobile device hardware replacement. This is mostly for your cell phones. On a laptop, it's located on your webcam module itself. Okay, the microphone is actually located on the webcam module itself. So if the microphone does fail, it's part of the webcam module. Okay. So on a mobile device, microphone and mobile device are small, sensitive components often embedded in the frame or near the charging port. So this is on a cell phone, okay? On a cell phone, usually typically 90% of the cell phones do have the microphone on the charging board itself, okay? And I don't have any charging board that I can show you. It depends on each phone. You guys 95% of the time or 99% of the time, you will not be doing cell phone repair. That's not part of your scope. That'll never be part of your scope. You'll just send it in for repair itself or replacement. Okay, you don't do anything. You don't open up cell phone for repairs. They are typically soldered to the motherboard or connected via flex cable. Some devices have multiple microphones for noise cancellation and improve voice clarity. This is very true on all modern devices. They usually have two on the charging port and two on the top of the phone as well. This is for a speaker and those type of things, right? When you enable on speaker. Replacing a microphone may require heat, soldering tools, or specialized equipment. As I said, you never do these, okay? Symptoms of a failed microphone include no audio input, muffled sound, or failure during calls. Now, there's two different types of things that you'll face, okay? And this is something that you just have to understand is sometimes when you go make a call, you might not be able to see the microphone icon itself, okay? If you don't see the microphone icon, that means it is a motherboard issue. But if you see the microphone icon, it just doesn't work. It's just the microphone has failed, okay? There are two different types of issue. Now, USB in accessories and connectivity for mobile devices. Okay, so we're just going to list out pretty much the USB connection for mobile devices. USB, essentially USB-C and micro USB is the standard interface for charging and data transfer on a mobile device. USB supports connectivity for accessories like keyboards, flash drives, game controllers, and docking station via USB OTG on the go. OTG means on the go. USB-C offers reversible connectors and fast data and power transfers. Mobile devices may require adapters or hubs or a USB-A accessories. We will look at all these USBs, okay? Don't worry. USB troubleshooting may involve checking cables, ports, and compatibility. Now, guys, in the A plus exam, the USB cables, you will need to know the shapes and how it looks like. Okay, it's because it's a huge must, and we will go through them when we go to our hardware module. So even more in depth, we will go through every single cable, and you must know all the different cables and all the names. Okay, memorize before you write the exam. That is like almost a very huge portion of your exam. Okay, especially the core one. This is called your Type C, which you guys already probably seen on your mobile phones, on your laptop. Type C is accessories and connectivity for mobile devices. USB-C Type C is a universal reversible connector used for power delivery, data transfer, and video output. Okay, this is something that you have to memorize. Power delivery, data transfer, video output. These three are part of USB-C. Okay, it supports fast charging, high data transfer rates than older USB types. USB-C enables connection to accessories such as external displays, storage device, and docking. This is something that they did ask in the exam for sure that I know. Okay, USB-C enables connection to accessories such as external displays, storage devices, and docking station. Okay, many mobile devices uses USB Type C, USB-C, or USB Type C for both charging and accessory connectivity through USB OTG or hub. OTG means on the go. Hub is also like I'll show you what a hub look like in just later on. It just allows you to connect multiple connection into one port. Okay, it's like almost like an extender. USB-C cables and devices must support the appropriate standard, and the standard you do have to make sure you remember them. Okay, first one is called USB 3.1, that is called USB-C, and power delivery (PD). Usually your chargers, I'm just trying to see if I have anything that's laying around that says PD, but it'll say PD on your USB C charger, okay, which is the power delivery standard, which allows for full functionality. The reason why this PD is important is it can actually, based on your device's need, it can actually give more power or give less power based on your device's need. Okay, so let's say if your phone is at 80%, your battery, your phone's motherboard, there's something called BMS, Battery Management System. Okay, this is the name that you have to memorize. It's called BMS, Battery Management System. Your battery management system can actually talk to your charger block. There's actually a small mini microchip in there that actually enables communication, which you can tell, okay, I'm at 80%. Can you slow down the charging for me? I'm going to only take this much, right? So why this is very helpful is, imagine you're holding out a water pipe, right? And you're at full throttle. You're pumping out, hundreds of PSIs, right? But your field is already, very, very full, and it's, there's only a little bit of water left. As long as the communication there, you should be able to lower the amount of water that comes out of the pipe, right? Same thing like that. So if your phone feels like, we're at 80%, let's slow down the charger You slow down the charging, just not only your phone's BMS is going to slow down, but your charger is going to detect that your BMS is now getting full. Let me slow down the pace, and your charger will actually slow the output as well. Okay, and this one you can actually see if you have a USB Type C charger, which I'm just trying to get off of here right now, which is over here. You'll actually see the Type C will say multiple outputs. Okay, and my eyesight's just not as good as before. But if you see the um, USB output, it'll give you multiple outputs. Okay, so in this one, I'm seeing 3 volts, 3 volts, 3 amps, 9 volts, 3 amps, 12 volts, 3 amps, and 19 volts, 3 amps. Okay, it'll give you multiple outputs. You guys probably cannot see it. It's way too small. It's on the back of the charger itself. Okay, so which means based on the device's requirement, it'll give more if it needs it, or it'll give less as it needs. Okay, so it's adaptable. That's the reason why these are very important. Okay, and Type C charger, as long as the PD is there, you can use the same charger on your laptop. You can use the same charger on your phone. You can use the same charger on your iPad. It's pretty much interchangeable. Okay, because the charger is now smart. Okay, now, micro USB and mini USB in accessories and connectivity for mobile devices. So this is what we call, you see the square one? So you guys probably all seen this one. It's a USB driver, your typical USB driver. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah. So this one, like your normal USB type connector, right? This connector over here, this is called a USB A. So try to memorize that. It's called a USB A, okay? And this color coding does matter. We'll go into it more when we go cover the hardware module itself. But this is called a USB connector A, okay? Now, you see the Type C, how it looks like, right? But there's actually something called mini USB 2, USB mini, which is what we see in the older devices. They're like almost like a rectangular or triangle. So it's like USB mini. I'll show you how it looks like. You guys have used this maybe in the past. Let me just show you here. We will go a little bit more in depth in each one of those cables after, but they look something like this. You know, they're like this type of connector, okay? And then you have USB micro. These are the ones we had before the Type C came in, usually on a phone, Blackberries or those type of things. And even now you can see on some old devices. Okay, so this is micro. This is mini. Oh yeah, there it is. So this is mini and this is micro, and I'll show you. Yeah, this is mini, micro, mini, and USB A. Okay, this is revolutionary. Okay, we'll go more in depth in our hardware module itself. So don't get too panicked. Okay. Micro USB and mini USB were widely used before USB-C became the standard. The reason why USB-C became standard is USB micro and USB mini had a lot of defects. You'll break the device. You'll notice if you use those phones before the charging port will break, you'll go and take it for repair. Maybe after 6 months it will break. It's such a fragile connection, and the connection is just so poor. Okay, it's not. It's never a long-term solution. So USB-C was one of the long-term solutions they came up with, and it's being enforced by European Union, okay, to be enforced on all devices. That's the reason why we're using it, and that's the reason why iPhone started using it, or else they would have never used it. Okay, so micro USB is still found in many older smartphone and accessories from charging and data transfer. A lot of power bank you still see in the market right now. The cheaper power bank, they're still using a micro USB. You'll know that, right? So it's still there because they already made thousands of devices. It's just they cannot sell it in the in European Union, but they can still sell it everywhere else, right? So they're selling it here. Mini USB is mostly obsolete. It's very old. It's not. I never see it anymore. Okay, unless it's like a legacy devices. Legacy meaning it's a very old device. Okay, such as a camera or a GPS unit. Both connectors are non-reversible. The beautiful thing about Type C is it's reversible. I can put it anywhere I want. It'll still charge the device or transfer data. Okay, but these connector USB A, micro USB, and mini USB, these three are non-reversible. And this is the question they ask in the exam. Okay, select the reversible USB type, and Type C is reversible. Okay, these ports support USB OTG, which is on the go, allowing connection to the peripherals like flash drive and input devices. Lightning connector, which is only used in iPhone and iPads and any other Apple devices. Okay, it's Apple proprietary connector itself. The Lightning connector is a proprietary interface developed by Apple for iPhone, iPods, and iPads. It supports charging, data transfer, and video and audio and video output through compatible accessories. Okay, Lightning is reversible, compact, and designed specifically for Apple devices. Many accessories such as docks, headphones, and adapters uses the Lightning interface. Apple is gradually transitioning to USB-C on newer device, but the Lightning is still widely used. I have an iPhone 12 that I still use. I have an iPhone 11 Pro that I still use, and all of them are still Lightning ports. But I do carry a Type C cable and a Lightning port cable. It's because I still have it. It's good. It's working good. Why replace the device, right? So USB Lightning cables are one of the best cables I ever seen. Easy to clean if anything goes in, and it's pretty much a solid connection. But because European Union has made a bylaw stating that all electronic device that comes into Europe must be within the Type C standard, iPhone is now forced to do Type C. Okay, they try to play some tricks to make sure that they have to use the Apple cable only, but European has made a slap on the wrist telling them that they must use the cable that's standardized across the industry itself. Okay, so they're transitioning now. I think, right now, all the devices are Type C, and any device they create in the future should be Type C as well. Okay, unless the standard has been changed. Near field communication (NFC) in accessories and connecting for mobile devices. NFC is a short range wireless communication technology, typically under 4 centimeter. I think it's 3 or 4 centimeter depending on the device itself. Okay, this is used in a payment gateway. So your debit card when you go and tap on the machine itself in the grocery store, it's NFC. Your phone, you tap to pay, that's NFC. Okay, it's near field communication. It enables functions such as contactless payment, data exchange, and device pairing. NFC is a commonly used in mobile wallet, Apple Pay, Google Pay. It allows quick pairing with accessories like Bluetooth headphones, or speakers. So right now, your Apple, if you're using it, I'm using my AirPods. This actually uses NFC to connect with my phone. Okay, it's a quick pairing. It allows me when I open my thing, it tells me that your AirPods been opened, right? So it uses a combination of NFC and Bluetooth because NFC is now long range. It does just the initial communication with NFC, and then it switches over to Bluetooth. Okay, NFC does not require manual configuration and unless minimal power, okay, and uses minimal power. NFC, that's the reason why your debit card you can tap and if you had your typical debit card will last the NFC for up to I think 3 or 5 years, because the device that you're pressing against will give it slight power to boost the power to receive the signal itself. Okay, so usually for 4 or 5 years your NFC will work. I know I have some debit card and some credit card the NFC stopped working because it's just getting too old. Bluetooth. Um, Bluetooth is a short-range wireless technology. It's still further than NFC. That's the reason why our headsets all work through Bluetooth. Okay, technology used to connect devices such as smart headphones, keyboards, smartwatches, even smartphones with computers and everything. Okay, it supports low power communication. This is something that you have to remember. Okay, Bluetooth supports low power communication. Make it ideal for mobile device and wearables. Pairing is required to establish a secure connection between devices. This is something that is also asked. And don't get confused between NFC and Bluetooth. Okay. Different Bluetooth version, there is 4.0, 5.0, offering varying ranges, speeds, and power efficiency. It is commonly used for hands-free calling, wireless audio, and data exchange. Now, the standards of Bluetooth is not really in the exam. It doesn't really ask what is the difference between 4.0 to 5.0. So we'll not be going too deep into it. We might see some in the security section about Bluetooth, about securing Bluetooth, which one is more secure, and that's in core 2, okay, not in core 1. Now, tethering and hotspot, which you guys probably have used, to put a hotspot on your phone so your laptop can connect. There used to be a device you can use. There still is. You can buy a device for hotspot and tethering, so your phone can, you can use a battery on it, right? Tethering allows a mobile device to share its internet connection with other device via USB, Bluetooth, or Wi-Fi. it hosts its own Wi-Fi, or you connect to the Bluetooth for data, or USB as well. Okay. A mobile hotspot uses the device cellular data to create a Wi-Fi network for other devices to connect to. USB tethering provides a stable and fast connection but requires a cable. Bluetooth tethering uses a less power but is slower than Wi-Fi or USB, okay, because it is a low power and low range, right? Hotspot usage may be limited by carrier plan and can drain the battery quickly if it's on a mobile device. That's the reason why you can actually get a device like this that is meant for mobile tethering. Okay, these things will last forever, like 16 hours, 20 hours of continued usage. Next is stylus. This one is not really in the exam too much. I've only seen like couple of maybe one or two in the last 2 years. A stylus is an input device. That's the thing you have to remember. I think it just talks about what is a stylus. What is stylus considered as? It's considered input device used for touchscreen, providing pieces, control for writing, drawing, and navigation. Precise control for writing, drawing, and navigation. Active stylus include features such as pressure sensitivity, palm rejection, and Bluetooth connectivity. Passive, capacitive, stylus mimic a fingertip and does not require power for pairing. So a lot of ones like a lot of the stylus that if you ever have a Kindle book, which I do have, I'll show you here. These stylus does not have any power, but they work based out of my fingers capacitive touch. So as long as I touch them, my body's capacitive touch in this, it works by charging the pen to write. Okay, it just provides my body's static electricity for the pen to work. Okay, stylus are commonly used with tablets, and the difference is these are capacitive. And the Apple Pen, you do require to charge them because you have to put them on the iPad to charge them. Those are has an actual battery in it and they connect through Bluetooth. Okay, and these ones don't. They're just pens, so I can still write them. Stylus are commonly used with tablets, two-in-one laptops, and smartphones that supports pen input. iPhones does not support pen inputs. Okay, like Apple Pen, you cannot use them on iPhone, I believe. Replacing or troubleshooting a stylus may involve checking batteries. If the stylus has battery, that means it's charged. Tips. So these tips on the stylus itself, they're actually changeable. If I actually hold on to this, I can actually remove this. There's actually an ejector that I can use to actually crimp into this and remove it. It's just my nails are not that big, but you can actually remove these tips and put a new tip in. Or Bluetooth setting. Make sure the device has the Bluetooth setting turned on. Headset. Bluetooth headset, Bluetooth headphones, headset, earphones, doesn't matter. Headset can connect to mobile device via wired. So this is something they asked, okay? So it can actually connect through a 3.5 mm jack, which is the audio jack, which is a round pin that we used to use back in the day, or USB-C, or wireless via Bluetooth method, okay? They are used for audio output and often include built-in microphone for calls or voice commands. Bluetooth headset require pairing and may include features such as noise cancellation and media control. USB-C and Lightning headset are common on devices without a 3.5 mm audio jack. Like iPhone, there's no audio jack. Samsung does not have audio jack. Okay, they're all now Bluetooth, right? So, or you have to use Type C or Lightning cable headset for iPhones. Connectivity issues may result from faulty jack, Bluetooth pairing errors or software settings, or your Bluetooth device malfunction itself. Okay, these are common stuff that common issue you can face. Speakers in accessories. Mobile devices connect to external speakers via Bluetooth, 3.5 jack, USB-C, or Lightning connector itself. Okay, or any sort of USB connectors. Bluetooth speakers provide wireless conversation and portability, but it requires pairing. Wired speaker offers more stable connection and do not rely on batteries. Wired speakers, okay? Many portable speakers include built-in control, microphones, and rechargeable batteries. Audio issue may result from pairing failures, low volume settings, or incompatible formats. And also, when you're pairing this device, if you have a pairing issue, make sure the Bluetooth device is fully charged. Okay. Sometimes the charge, if it's at a certain percentage, like 30%, 40%, 30%, 20%, the Bluetooth connectivity does not work as properly as it should be. Okay. Webcam. This is a separate webcam. The one we seen before, they're mobile device webcams. So they're meant for built into laptops and built into mobile devices or tablets. Okay. Most mobile devices have built-in webcam, as I said, front-facing cameras for video calling and recording. External webcam can be connected via USB. The one you're using to see me is an external webcam. Okay, not my laptop's webcam. My laptop's right there. I have three screens over here. Um, it's using via USB-C, USB-A, USB-C, or Lightning for enhanced video quality. Lightning for iPhone. Okay, but this one I'm talking to you on is a USB 3.0 connector, which is a USB-A connector. Okay. Webcam are used in video conference such as Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, like we're using right now, FaceTime. Some external webcam may require additional drivers or app permission to function properly. Drivers meaning again the manufacturer. I'm using, I believe it's a Logitech webcam. With this one has approximately this one had a driver built in and I just plugged in, but I can still go to the manufacturer site and download it if I do need it. Okay, but I didn't need it in this case. Usually nowadays webcam don't, unless it's a specifically specified webcam for certain operations. Okay. Connectivity issue may involve in app setting permissions or hardware compatibility. In external webcam, you do not fix them. You just replace it. This webcam does not work, I'll throw it away and order another one. Okay, like, there's no way of fixing this. I will not have the parts to fix this. I'll just throw it and buy another one. Okay, it's a replacement parts. Now docking station, and I'm using a docking station currently too. And docking station um, is expands a mobile device connectivity to peripherals such as monitors, keyboard, storage, and power. So right now, my laptop is connected through using one USB Type C cable, which allows the power to be delivered for the laptop, plus two additional displays with USB drives and everything. Okay, it allows me to expand the thing more. Okay, expand my device's capacity more, just using one cable, which is Type C. They commonly connect via USB-C. Okay, so in the back in the days, there used to be laptops. I'm just trying to see if I have any older laptops that has. It used to have their proprietary connector on the back of the laptop. You go and place it on top of the device, and it will connect from the bottom, and it allowed for you to connect to multiple monitor and everything in a work setting, right? So you don't have to have a desktop. You just connect this, and you have two monitors to work with in a corporate environment, right? So, but right now it's Type C or USB 3.0 Type A as well. Okay, but right now it's all Type C. Uh, Proprietary ports support data, video, and charging simultaneously. Okay, which is what I'm doing right now. Mobile docks may include HDMI, USB-A, Ethernet, SD card slot. All of them, I have them on my docking station itself. Mine's is a ThinkPad. Okay, it's a ThinkPad docking station. Docking station simplifies transmission between mobile and desktop like setup. It just allows for a cleaner desktop like setup. Okay, because a lot of people like trust me. If you're going to tell me to run this meeting on a 14 inches my small laptop, it's just not possible. I won't be as productive. Right now, I have three screens: my laptop screen, my one screen, and another screen. And they're all 21 inches, so I have three screens set up, which allows me to do the video conference properly and talk to you guys properly. Okay, it allows me to make sure that I can be functional and do my work properly. Yes, you might not need this in a work setting. I mean, not a work setting. You might not need this at home settings, but at work, it's absolutely necessary. Okay, everybody will get it. Right now, we always use laptops for most of our tasks. So for that, to make it feel like a desktop, we give them a docking station. They connect, and then they can work on their laptop just like a desktop at work. And if they take it home, they can still use a laptop at home too, right? And compatibility and power delivery specification vary by device and docking module. So the one thing that you have to make sure, if you're having any issues, and this is something common that I've seen, is if your laptop takes in a higher voltages, which you can see in the back, and make sure to turn the docking station to the back and see what is the output. So your laptop's input and the docking station output should be equal. Okay, your docking station can have more output, doesn't matter, but it should not be less than the laptop's input. Okay, so docking station's output should be equal or more than the laptop's input. Okay, your docking station laptop will work wonderful. If it's slightly less, you might see a performance hindering. Okay, which means the laptop might has to be externally powered as well. This is called port replicator. This you'll see. I usually did have lots of these before because before docking station, this is what we use, right? So it allows you to connect multiple USB drive, Ethernet cable, HDMI, and those type of things. This is just like an expansion card. Okay. Port replicator provides additional ports to a mobile device, similar to a docking station, but often with fewer features. It typically connects via USB-C or proprietary connector like USB-A. Common ports include USB-A, HDMI, VGA, audio jack, and Ethernet, and many other connectors. Okay, if it needs it. Port replicator are portable and ideal for users who need basic peripherals expansion. Unlike full docking station, they may not support power delivery or video output on all models. Okay, that's the thing you have to be very clear on. Docking station are easy to carry. They're actually a pretty heavy device, and you do have to carry a big power brick with them because it has to power the docking station plus your laptop, right? So the power brick is actually pretty big, and it's actually double the voltage that it needs. So it can power the docking station plus your laptop. Whereas peripherals, port and repeaters, you don't need that. You just plug it directly into a USB port and it works. Sometimes you might need external power. That's about it. Sometimes in rare cases. Okay. Trackpad, drawing pad, or track pointer. So on some laptops, I don't have that on this laptop. Usually on IBM laptop, you'll see this red dot over here. Next slide, maybe I can show you guys, but you see here in the image. This one is called a track pointer. In case your fingers are, in the cold, or if you're working outside with gloves, your trackpad does not work properly. But this track pointer, will always work properly. Okay, so they'll use this track pointer to work, and you see in the IBM or working class laptop or construction laptops or those heavy duty laptops, they will always have a trackpad in case that your trackpad is not usable because you're wearing gloves or your hand is, some sort of substance there that you cannot use a trackpad. It's easy. You can do the stuff you need to do with the track pointer. Okay, it does the same thing. Whereas trackpad is more on the laptop itself, right? Trackpad provides touch-based cursor control and are common in laptop and detachable keyboards. Drawing pad graphic tablets connect via USB or Bluetooth and offers stylus input for precision tasks like digital drawing, CAD drawing, CAD, CAD, CAD drawing, right? Those are like for industrial drawing. Track pointer are small joystick-like controllers, which I showed you here. This one, track pointer. Track points are small joystick-like controllers found in some keyboards, mainly on laptops for cursor movement. Okay, specifically on Lenovo, you'll see them. Lenovo or IBM laptops. You will see them on Dell HP too on the working class laptop. Okay. Drawing pads often support pressure sensitive and may require specific drivers up. This is actually so true. If you do go to a place where there's engineering, they'll have these drawing pads, and you will have to install the specific driver for that thing. It'll work soon as you plug it in via USB. It'll work. You can still draw and everything, but imagine just like you're drawing on a piece of paper, right? If you do it softly, you do a faint. You'll have a faint drawing, right? But whereas if you put pressure on it, the you know the pressure you put on it will cause the drawing to be thicker, right? So you can actually mimic that with the drawing pad, as long as it has a proper manufacturer software itself. Okay, these input devices enhances control and productivity, especially for creative or professional uses. Wireless and cellular data network in configuring basic mobile device network and application support. Mobile devices uses wireless Wi-Fi, okay? Wireless Wi-Fi and cellular like 3G, 4G or 5G networks for internet access and communication. So this is the thing that you guys have to memorize is 3G, 4G, 5G or Wi-Fi is used for internet access and communication, okay? I think there's a question on what are some of the possibilities of using 3G, 4G, 5G. It's for internet access communication, okay? Wi-Fi connects to local network using SSID. This is something you have to remember. Wi-Fi connects to local network using SSID and encryption. We'll go over the encryption type, not to, this is just still the overview, right? So of the core one. I mean, this is module one, but when we go into core two of securing, you go more deeper, the core two, okay? Cellular data network requires a SIM card and a service plan to access carrier network, okay? Device can automatically switch between Wi-Fi and cellular based on availability and settings. Proper configuration, including setting up APN, enabling roaming, and managing data usage for cell phone, okay, on a data plan. You do have to put in something called APN settings, okay, which is what allows you to which is what will allow you to get data from your phone. Nowadays you don't really have to do it. It's done automatically, but back in the day, whenever you buy a new phone, you do have to put in APN settings for it to work properly. Enabling roaming sometimes, before, back in the days, if you leave out of the city, like if you're in Toronto and you go to, like, Pickering, it might be considered roaming and it might not allow you to talk. So you do have to enable roaming. Okay. 3G, 4G, 5G. This is something that you guys, the speed, you guys will have to memorize. Okay. So 3G is maximum of 384 kilobytes per second. Just remember the kilobytes. Okay. 4G is 100 megabytes per second. It's a maximum go to. 5G can go up to 10 gigabytes per second. Okay. 3G, 4G, and 5G are generations of mobile cellular network with increasing speed and efficiency. 3G provides a basic mobile internet and voice capability, but is largely outdated. 4G, especially LTE, delivers faster internet suitable for streaming, video calling, and app usage. 5G offers a significant higher speed, lower latency, and better support for high bandwidth application. The latency means is how fast can I access something? It's accessibility, right? If you're trying to, send a, let's say, an email, how fast can I send the email, right? So that's what it really matters. Okay, how fast can I go and come back, right? It's a latency. Okay, it's called. Device must support specific network type and be configured with the correct carrier settings and APN. So, which means not all devices will support 5G. Your device must support 5G. Okay. In Canada, we had a great switch, right? Just about 6 months ago, where 4G, 3G devices all going to stop, and it's going to be 4G and 5G, right? So it happened already. So all the older devices, you have to use Rogers or big guys are going to still use 3G, and they're going to be out of scope as well in the coming future, right? So 3G is nowadays it's only used for emergency situation, policing, government sector, right? Basically, right? Because it's become obsolete. It's not fast enough. But it's 3G is still there for government side in case of emergency. Okay. Hotspot in configuration, basic mobile device network and application support. So how this is just a basic information on how to set up your hotspot. Each phone is slightly different. On an Android, you'll just go from the top down, and you see mobile hotspot. You'll go ahead and do mobile hotspot and tethering, and you'll turn it on. Okay, and you'll see the name of what you can search up on other device and the password here. A mobile hotspot allows a device to share its cellular data connection via Wi-Fi with other devices. Hotspots can be enabled through mobile settings and may support password protection and user limits. Device connecting to the hotspot treats it like any other Wi-Fi network. Hotspot usage depends on carrier support and may consume large amount of data and battery. Configuring option including setting SSID, security, and data usage limits. Wi-Fi configuration. And guys, in the exam, these questions are not really asked. There's like one or two questions in a couple of years. They'll just ask you where do you have to go, how do you actually connect to, what do you have to turn on to connect to Wi-Fi, or what do you turn on to connect to hotspot? And it'll show you, it'll be like turning on mobile hotspot or mobile tethering or something like that. You just have to select that. It's very rare they ask these questions. Wi-Fi allows mobile device to connect to wireless local area network, WLANS for the network access. Configuration requires selecting the correct SSID and entering the appropriate security key if it's there. Okay. Device can automatically reconnect to saved network and prioritize preference ones. Common troubleshooting steps include restarting the device, forgetting and rejoining the network, or resetting network settings. Wi-Fi settings may include static IP configuration, DNS settings, and proxy setup. We'll actually go through each one of these on a later state, okay? In a different module. I mean. Okay, subscriber identity module, which is what SIM stands for. Okay, your SIM card actually stands for subscriber identity module. Don't get confused when you see this in the exam, because this is mentioned in the exam. It's just to confuse people, right? Subscriber identity module means your SIM card, and eSIM card it just means there's actually a chip in your phone that you don't have to change. It's just built in. Like iPhone 17 right now, it's all eSIM. There is no physical SIM there. You cannot put a physical SIM. A SIM card stores subscriber information, enables access to a carrier's cellular network. eSIM is a digital version of a SIM card embedded in the device and programmable via software. Both SIM and eSIM stores data such as the IMSI or support mobile data, calls, and messaging. Configuration Configuration may include activating the SIM, setting the correct APN, and enabling roaming. eSIM support multiple profiles and allows switching carriers without physical SIM card. That's one of the things about eSIM. Okay, it allows you to it allows you to add multiple SIM card to the same device and allows for carrier switching. Okay. How enabling Bluetooth, you guys should already know how to enable Bluetooth, but we'll just go through it. Bluetooth must be turned on in the device settings to enable wireless communication with other devices. Once enabled, the devices can scan for and pair with nearby Bluetooth accessories. Pair may require entering a PIN or confirming a code for security. This is something they ask in the question, okay, in the exam. Pairing, so in terms of pairing, will it be, is it a secure connection or non-secure connection? So almost all Bluetooth device you right now in the standard, you do have to approve it, okay? Approve, authorize, or entering a PIN or confirming a code for security reasons, okay? Bluetooth settings allow managing connected device, renaming, or unpairing them. Common uses include connecting to a headset, speaker, keyboard, and car system. You can think of anything else too, right? GPS service GPS Global Positioning System enables location tracking and navigation on mobile devices. It uses satellite signals and can be enhanced by Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular network. So remember this satellite signal and can be enhanced with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular network. Because there's a question like this, okay? It's called a GPS. So you still need the GPS signal from the satellite itself, but it gets more enhanced from your data from your phone, your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Okay. GPS must be enabled in location settings for apps that require location data like map, weather, ride sharing. Users can manage app-specific location permission for privacy and battery optimization. Poor signal may occur indoor or in obstacle areas and effective accuracy. So if you're in downtown, especially in core of downtown, you'll see your Google Maps is just freaking out because there's so many buildings, like metals and those type of things, right? And when we go slightly down into the course, into different modules, you'll see how microwaves can actually affect this, the ones you use to heat the food. If you're in like a crowded area, like a lot of building, a lot of concrete building, a metal building, it usually will affect with GPS signaling, okay, and affect the accuracy itself. Especially when you go to, if you drive to Montreal and have your GPS on, you won't know because the roads are so small. It's fully concrete, and a lot of sky bridges that the GPS just get confused. Okay, at least when I go. Cellular location service. This is something that gets used now by policing and by pretty much government's rescue teams. Okay, cellular location service. Cellular location service uses nearby cellular tower to estimate a device's location. So it tries to triangulate between three different devices, three different mobile towers. Okay, as long as it has two, it can at least triangulate to see how far is it from the uh, towers, cell phone towers. Okay, this method is faster but less accurate than GPS and works well in urban area. It is often used to estimate a GPS when satellite signals are weak or unavailable. This is used in a lot of rescue missions. Okay, location service can be enabled or disabled in devices settings for privacy and battery management. Many app relies on cellular location for navigation, weather, and emergency services. Okay, it's because GPS you might not be able to connect to a GPS satellite all the time. So it relies on cellular location more than a satellite signal. Okay, so it still likes it, but it's just not available. That's what you mean. Okay, now we're going to talk about corporate devices, so corporate device management. Okay, so it's called mobile device management, MDM. You'll hear this a lot in the resumes and in please. Okay, it allows IT administrator to configure, secure, and manage corporate mobile devices remotely. This is something that's definitely in the exam. Okay, they'll ask what does MDM allows you to do, and it gives you a lot of option. Make sure to select the one that says it allows IT administrator to configure, secure, and manage corporate mobile device remotely. Okay, a corporate configuration may include Wi-Fi settings, VPN access, email setup, app installation, and security policies. Device can be enrolled into MDM through user credential, QR code, or automated deploying tool. This is something that's in the exam for sure. Uh, how does device get enrolled into MDM? And these are things that you have to select credentials, QR code, or automated deployment tools. MDM enforces policies such as password requirements, encryption, and remote wipe capability. So, the administrator can actually remotely wipe the phone if they do need it. Okay. It helps ensure compliances with organization's security standard and protect sensitive data. There is a question based on this: why is MDM is a useful tool for in a workplace? And it's either there's something to do. It'll tell you like for security standards or protecting sensitive data. It's either or. As long as it has one of them, you're fine. Bring your own device, BYOD, and you'll see this a lot in a lot of workplace now. It's called BYOD in MDM. Okay, so it's called mobile BYOD in mobile MDM. BYOD means bring your own device. Allows employee to use personal mobile devices for work-related tasks and access company resources. MDM solution manages and secures corporate data on a personal device without accessing personal information. Organization enforces security policies such as remote wipe, device encryption, and password protection. So they can, if you're even using your own personal phone and you're under the BYOD, they can actually set up a program that just erases the company data without touching your personal. So if they do have, if you do something wrong and they do have to erase it, they don't have to erase your personal phone too. They can just erase that company data that's on the personal phone. Okay, and it's getting utilized in all the companies now. BYOD increases flexibility and productivity, but requires clear usage policy and data protection measures. So this is something that a lot of companies, once they start allowing BYOD, they thought about it is there's actually a regulatory body behind it. You do have to let the user know what you can access and what you cannot from their device from IT standpoint, right? And in case if they do something that's against the company policy, what level of authority you have to remove from their device and what you can remove, right? So you have to make sure. And also when you remove, you have to make sure that you do not touch their personal items, okay? And this is one of the reasons why some companies don't like this. They rather just buy you a cell phone, give it to you just hassle free than going through these policies, okay? Especially in a unionized environment. MDM can separate work from personal data using containerization or app-based control, okay? We'll learn more about it when we go down into virtualization. Containerization, okay? Policy enforcement. MDM enforces security and uses usage policies on mobile device to protect corporate data. Common policies include screen lock requirements, password complexity, device encryption, and app restriction. Non-compliant device can be blocked, quarantined, or remote wipe. This is something that's in the exam as well. So, what can you do to a non-compliant device? Block, quarantine, or remote wipe. Okay. Policy enforcement ensure consent configuration across all managed devices. Consistent. Okay. It helps organization meet compliancy standard and reduce security risk. This is widely used in a big corporate just to make sure the data does not leak, or if it's on the personal device, it can be erased properly for cybersecurity insurance. So, okay. Corporate applications. MDM allows IT administrator to remotely install, update, and manage corporate application on a mobile device. This is something that's on the exam as well. These applications may include email clients, VPN tools, productivity apps, and secure browsing. App can be delivered through a private enterprise app store or pushed directly be enrolled device to be enrolled device. MDM can enforce app usage policies such as blocking unauthorized app or require specific version. Corporate apps are often containerized to a specific work data from personal device on BIOD devices. Recognizing data cap in a mobile device. Data cap limits the amount of data, mobile data a user can use within a billing cycle. You guys probably have nowadays we have unlimited data, but back in the day we didn't have. Well, back in the day we never had unlimited data. Okay, we had like 10 gigs or so, and if you go over it for every gig, it's every I think every 1 meg it's like $10 something. So you can actually restrict saying that after 10 gigs you're not allowed to go over until 21st of every month. You can actually do that. Syncing large files, photos, or app data over cellular can quickly consume data allowance. Most devices allow user to restrict syncing to Wi-Fi only to avoid using cellular data. Exceeding data cap may result into extra charges or throttled speeds from the carrier. Monitoring and adjusting sync setting helps manage data usage efficiently. So even right now, when they say unlimited, go and read the fine print. It says fair usage policy, FUP, fair usage policy, which says it depends on each company to company. It could be like individual person can use up to 100 gigs per month, and after that, the speed will reduce. You still have internet access, but the speed will reduce to like maybe 3G speed or 3G speed or something like that. Okay. Calendar and contact synchronization. So your phone has calendar and contacts, right? Like people you call. Calendar and contact syncs allows mobile device to stay up to date with a cloud-based or server store data. Syncs can occur through services such as Google, Microsoft Exchange, or iCloud. Users can enable or disable sync settings for each account and data type. Syncing may occur automatically or manually, depending on settings and connectivity. Troubleshooting sync issue may involve checking account credentials, internet access, and app permissions. In this, usually, if you have this in the exam, you'll get that troubleshooting sync is involving with checking the account credentials, internet access, and app permission. Where those are, it's never an exam. And if it is, it's one of this part for this one. Business mail synchronization. Business mail synchronization ensures real-time access to corporate email on a mobile device for corporate users, right? Common service include Microsoft Exchange, um, Google Workspace, and IMAP and POP3 configuration, which is email configuration, which we'll look at more in depth into the other modules. Configuration involves entering server settings, login credentials, and selecting sync frequency. Mobile device management can enforce mail sync policies and security settings. Troubleshooting may include verifying server information, connectivity permissions, and sync intervals. Cloud storage synchronization in mobile device configuration. Cloud storage synchronization keeps the file and data updated across device using services like Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, and Dropbox. Syncing may be automatic or manual, depending on app settings and connectivity. Users can select which files or folders to sync to save space and manage data usage. Syncing over cellular may consume data quickly. Wi Fi only sync is often recommended. Proper login credentials and permissions are required for successful cloud synchronization. Okay. So that is part of module one, okay, which is the mobile device itself, which includes laptops, cell phones, and laptops, cell phones, and tablets. And I will allow for questions to ask if you have any questions to end. Okay. Now let's go into the second part of this course, which is this is still day one. This is still core one. This is module four. Don't worry, we're jumping between modules because I want to just fit it in to make sure we cover majority of today. Okay, and the next week we'll cover the rest three of them. Okay, the rest three are pretty much can be fit into one day. because I knew the first one is going to take majority of the time. So this virtualization cloud computing is small. It's not too big. Okay. So propose a sandbox virtual machine in a virtualization concept. And remember, these are just concepts that we're first trying to understand for core module one, right? The core one, and then each when we go into deeper, they go even deeper into each module. Like we have other modules that goes in deeper, even hardware and everything. Okay? Sandbox virtual machines. Virtual machines can also be called VMs. Okay, is an isolated environment used for testing and running application without affecting the host system or network. It allows users to safely execute untrusted software, test new configuration, or simulate potential risky scenarios like running malwares or testing certain malicious software without compromising the host system integrity. Sandbox VMs are commonly used in development, security testing, and training environment where safety experimentation is required. These virtual machines can be quickly created and discarded, often flexible while maintaining system security. Sandboxing ensures that system failures are malicious activity inside a virtual machine's VM remains confined and does not impact the host system or other network resources. Development virtual machines. Test development virtual machines (VMs) are used for creating isolated information environment for testing new software, configuration, or updates without affecting the production network. So, just to give you guys a context, in a big corporation, even if Windows put out a new update, we do not release it into the production network. Okay, we will always have a um, lab or a testing environment, okay, it's called, okay, where we will go and install the software and test them before we get it released into the public internet or public into the host, right? Because it'll affect a lot of people, so we want to minimize it as much as possible. Okay, they provide a reputable, replicated environment that mimics a real world scenario for testing codes, application configuration. Usually, these are just a clone of actual devices on a virtual machine, okay, on a virtual computer that you can actually go ahead and test it. It's like literally like what's in the production right now, but it's in the test, so we can break it and everything. Okay. Um, Test virtual machines, VMs, can be quickly deployed and reset, allowing developers to experiment with different operating system, application, and configuration. They improve efficiency by enabling multiple configuration to be tested in parallel without requiring additional physical hardware. Test development VMs also allows testing of legacy systems or older configuration that may not be compatible in a modern hardware. Application virtualization, legacy software, OS, and cloud platform. Application virtualization isolates software from underlying operating system, allowing it to run without direct installation, improving compatibility and deployment efficiency. Legacy software or operating system virtualization enables older application or operating system to run on a newer hardware by simulating the required environment within the virtual machine. Cross-platform virtualization allows applications or operating system designed for one platform, Windows, to run on another platform, Linux or macOS. These virtualization technologies help consolidate resources, reduces the need for multiple physical machines, and maintain compatibility across different platforms. Virtualization enhances security by isolating potential vulnerable software, preventing conflicts, and reducing downtime caused by incompatible applications or configurations. Security requirements in a virtual concept. Isolation between virtual machines VMs is critical to prevent one compromised virtual machines from affecting others on the host system. And we'll look at what host system is just down the road. Okay. Access controls should be implemented to ensure only authorized users can manage or interact with virtualized environment. Virtual machine snapshots and backups are essential for restoring VMs to a secure state and after security breach or data losses. Network security requires proper configured virtual networks and firewalls to prevent unauthorized traffic between VMs and host. Patching and updating must be applied to both host and guest operating system to minimize vulnerability. Network requirements in a virtualization concept. Network isolation is necessary to ensure virtual machines (VMs) do not interfere with each other and that sensitive traffic remains secure. Virtualization network should be segmented into separate VLANs or virtual switches to manage traffic efficiently and ensure secure communication. Network bandwidth must be carefully planned as multiple VMs sharing the same network resources can cause bottleneck and perform degradation. Network adapter configuration in VM is critical to ensure proper access to internal and external network resources while maintaining security. Quality of services, or QoS, and traffic prioritization helps ensure critical traffic like VoIP. VoIP stands for voice over IP, okay? Or streaming is prioritized over less crucial traffic in the virtualization environment. Like, voice calls are more important than somebody else is requesting for a web page, right? It will be significantly the same speed, but it'll just be prioritized separately, okay, differently, okay? So that's why the QoS is very important. We'll go a little bit more QoS in the networking concept. Storage requirements in a virtualization concept. Storage capacity must be carefully planned to support the operating system, application, and data of multiple virtual machines. Storage performance is crucial as VMs can be on IO intervenes. SSD storage significantly improves performance compared to traditional HDD. Storage virtualization combines multiple physical storage devices into a single logical volume for easier management and effective resource usage. Redundancy and backup solution, RAID, snapshot, or replication are essential for data protection, fault tolerance, and disaster recovery. Storage tiering optimization platform by automatically moving data between storage types like SSD for high performance, HDD for low priority data based on usage. Okay. Virtual desktop interface (VDI). And just to let you guys know, the virtual machine concept or cloud concept is very minimal in the CompTIA A Core 1 exam. It's very minimal. Virtual desktop interface (VDI), and this question will be like, what does VDI stands for? What does VM stands for? And what is the snapshot? We'll go over it. Okay. VDI improves security by storing desktop environment in the data center instead of on individual devices, reducing the risk of data loss or theft. It enables centralized management, allowing IT administrator to deploy, update, and maintain the desktop environment across the organization. VDI enhances mobility as users can access their desktop remotely from any devices with internet connected, support remote work and BYOD policies. And the reason why they use this in a lot of banks now and hospitals is they can just have a virtual machine for desktop. All you will be doing is you're just logging into it and doing your work, and you cannot do anything inside the thing. You cannot take screenshots. You cannot copy any of it in there. Okay, so it's pretty much you go in there, use it, do your work, and get out. And that way you cannot break any policies. You cannot copy any work. Supporting VDI requires high performance servers, storage solution, and reliable network infrastructure to ensure both performance and faster access. Okay, now we're going to go into hypervisor, which is virtualization. Okay, hypervisors are like basically VMs where you put your VMs on, virtual machines on. Type 1 hypervisors, called also bare metal hypervisor, runs directly on a host hardware without underlaying any operating system. Type 1 hypervisors are most efficient and high performance than Type 2. We'll actually look at Type 2 and I'll show you a visual image too, don't worry. Type 2 hypervisors, because they have direct access to the hardware resources. So Type 1 is always superior than Type 2, okay? That's the thing you have to remember. This is part of the exam. They'll definitely ask you about Type 1, Type 2. Type 1 is always better because it has access to the hardware directly, okay? They are commonly used in data center, cloud environment. Your cloud, like Azure, is just a Type 1 hypervisor. And enterprise service, server virtualization, where performance and reliability are crucial. Popular Type 1 hypervisors include VMware ESXi, Microsoft Hypervisor V, Xen, there's Proxmark, there's a lot of them, Type 1 hypervisor, okay? They provide advanced features such as virtual machine management, resource allocation, security controls, making them ideal for large scale, mission critical environment. Now we're going to talk about Type 2, and after this, I'll show you an image of it, okay? Type 2 hypervisor, a hosted hypervisor, okay? So these are two. One is bare metal. First one is bare metal, and this one is hosted, okay? So they can refer to both of them in the exam itself. I know for sure these questions are there. Runs on top of an existing host operating system rather than directly on a hardware. And I'll show you an image, don't worry. Type 2 hypervisor are generally easier to install and more user friendly, making them suitable for desktop virtualization for personal use. They are commonly used for testing, development, or isolating application where maximum performance is not the primary concern here. Popular Type 2 hypervisor including VMware Workstation, Oracle VirtualBox, or Parallel Desktop. They may have slightly higher performance than Type 1 hypervisor because they depend on the host operating system for resource management. And I'll show you an image of how it looks like. One second. What is the difference in visual? Type 1. I'm just showing you, give me one second, present something else. Okay. So I'm just going to show you a quick image of it. So imagine this is your hard drive of your server, okay, or your computer. The hypervisor literally sits on it. It's a small operating system that you put onto it, okay? And on top of it, you can install via virtual machines. So the virtual machines will have access to the hardware, which isn't just by the hypervisor itself, right? Because the direct access itself, it's the most direct and it's the most quickest, it's the most efficient. It's used in a wide industrial area, okay? Whereas Type 2, your hardware, and you have your host OS. And host OS typically on your computer, what computer OS do you have? Windows 11, Windows 10, Mac OS, any consumer operating system, right? You have, right? And then on top of it, you'll actually have an application that's like, I have VirtualBox here installed. This is it. So what this will do is I actually have virtual machines on top of here. So this is an application, and in the application, I have small. So this is an application, VirtualBox, and in the VirtualBox, I have virtual machines. There's Kali, there's Windows 11, Metasploitable 3, Windows Server 2022 standard, and there's another one, right? So these are small applications, virtual machines inside of an application that is on top of an operating system on top of the hardware, right? So it requires a lot of going down to access the hardware itself, which becomes it's not ideal in a mission critical environment like a corporate environment. Okay, it's better to go with the Type 1. Type 2 is good for home users like us, for us doing testing and teaching and those type of things. Perfect, because these things cost a lot of money. Like I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Not hundreds, thousands of thousands of dollars, and the licensing cost too. You have to pay for the licensing. Okay. Oh, wrong screen. There you go. Private cloud in a cloud computing concept. A private cloud is a cloud computing environment dedicated to a single organization, offering a great control over data security, privacy, and compliances compared to public cloud. And I'll show you what public cloud is. Public cloud is anything like Azure, AWS, GCP, they're all public cloud. Okay, they're all public cloud. So anybody can create a virtual machine there, and you're all using shared resources. Whereas private cloud are used by hospitals, government agencies, militaries, NASA. They all use Azure will have them, host them if, like most of the time. But what they'll do is it'll be a private service, and usually it cannot be shared with any other organization. Okay, Azure or GCP, Google Cloud Platform, or Amazon will take care of it, but it's not shared. Private cloud can be hosted on premises. You can actually, it's called on premises. You can actually have the server sitting in your place or through a third party provider with the infrastructure customized to organization's need. They are ideal for business with the strict security requirements, sensitive data handling, and regulatory compliance needed, like HIPAA, GDPR, PHIPAA. These are all compliances by the government, like and for European Union, we need to maintain a certain compliances to make sure that we are in standard with whatever the government or this organization tells us. Virtualization technology are commonly used in private cloud to maximize resource utilization and flexibility. Although private cloud offers enhanced cloud control and security, they can be more costly and complex to implement and maintain than a public cloud solution. Okay, they're very expensive because they're dedicated for you, right? And they have staff and everything and powered internet and everything, so it becomes very expensive. Okay, public cloud, which is our AWS, Google Cloud Platform, uh, Azure, Alibaba. Those are all public, right? You can go in and create a virtual machine in there. A, a public cloud is a cloud computing environment where resources like services, storage, and applications are provided by third-party provider and shared among multiple organizations or users. Public clouds are typically cost effective due to pay as you go model, eliminates the need of business to invest in expensive hardware and infrastructure. Major public cloud providers include Amazon Web Services, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform, GCP, or Alibaba has one too, Alibaba Cloud Services, something like that. Public cloud are ideal for non-sensitive application and storage offering flexibility and scalability without requiring in-house maintenance. Meaning, I don't have to hire someone to maintain my server. The cloud personnel will take care of it, but I just have to make sure to maintain it, right? They'll make sure to, if it fails, they'll go ahead and change it before it fails and everything. But I'll just have to make sure the configuration, everything I have to do. While they offer scalability and lower cost, public cloud may not meet strict security or compliance requirement for certain industry. Okay, the reason why a lot of people go with like these public cloud because it's cheap. Imagine if you had to set up a company, right? Like if you had to set up a company from scratch back in the day, you had to invest at least $50,000 to $100,000 just on computers and servers alone, right? To control the computers. Nowadays, you don't need to invest $50,000. You can buy a public cloud services as a pay as you go. Like, okay, so I'll only use it for 8 hour a day for 30 days. It's now you're only paying for how much you use, what you use, rather than just buying this whole device, even though you don't use it. And if you need to expand in the future, it costs you more, right? Nowadays, you just pay whatever you need, and then you can turn it off or use more as you require. Okay, that's the reason why cloud model is very successful, and right now the cloud job is much more higher in stake. Okay, in terms of not in stake, but in terms of growth factor. Hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud combines both public and private cloud infrastructure, allowing data and application to be shared between them. It enables organization to keep sensitive data in a private cloud while using the public cloud for less critical workload or scaling resources. Hybrid cloud supports workload prioritization, allowing applications to move between private and public cloud as a business need changes. It is commonly used for disaster recovery, storing critical data in a private cloud, and backups in a public cloud. The hybrid model provides scalability and is cost effective and security, but requires careful management to enable proper integration and compatibility between environment. The only sector that I've seen that uses a hybrid cloud environment is experimental, experimental company that's putting their feet between if they want to do certain compliances or not. They might go here, right? Certain documents might be, needs a little bit more tightening of what they need to access, so they put that in a private site and they'll keep the other one in a public site, so it's a hybrid setup. Not a lot of companies do this. It's very uncommon, just a niche type of company. Okay, so community cloud. A community cloud is a cloud infrastructure shared by several organizations with a similar interest, industry needs, security requirements, or compliancy standard. It allows organizations to share resources and cost while maintaining a high level of privacy and security compared to public cloud. Community cloud may be managed by third-party provider or jointly by participating organizations. They are commonly used in sectors such as healthcare, education, government. Community cloud are tailored to meet regulatory and compliance requirements while enabling collaborating resources. I'm from the health sector and I'm from the government sector in my past. We always use community cloud. All the hospitals in Canada, they're all interlinked right now. Okay, all the jail system in Canada, they're all interlinked. All the policing services are interlinked. They're all on community cloud. They're private, but the community cloud. They just share resources. Hey, and military intelligence and police clouds are shared among different countries as well. It depends on sensitive data we share, but it's for intelligence purposes, right? So we share them among different or governments and organizations. This is something that is getting used widely right now too. Okay. Now we're going to go into these things. These are something that you will have to memorize because they are asked in the exam for sure. IaaS, which stands for Infrastructure as a Service. There's a question that tells you to identify, and there's like a lot of things that look similar to this, but remember, it's infrastructure as a service. Okay. I think infrastructure as a server or something that'll tell you it's very confusing. But just make sure it's infrastructure as a service. Provides virtualization, computing resource over the internet, including servers, storage, and networking without requiring physical hardware. This is something you have to memorize. Okay. It allows business to scale resources up and down based on demands, offering flexibility and cost control. And this is something that is there in the question as well. IaaS typically includes tools for managing infrastructure components such as virtual machines, VMs, firewalls, and load balancers. Major IaaS providers include AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and Alibaba. But we don't talk about Alibaba in the exam as well, okay? Because Alibaba is Chinese and we don't do it Chinese stuff. Sorry, guys. IaaS is ideal for organizations needing high scalability infrastructure without the capital expense and maintaining a physical hardware. What is a capital expense? Capital expense is anything that I need to buy something up front, right? If I need to buy this device, I need to pay this the $200 for the device and buy it, right? Which means I need to have the $200 in hand, okay? Whereas when you go for cloud service, you don't need to have everything up front. You're only paying for what you use. If I'm only using for 2 hours per day, I'm only paying for 2 hours per day, right? So and it could be shared when I'm not using. Okay, that's the thing. Software as a service, SaaS, software as a service. Software as a service delivers software application over the internet, eliminating the need to install and maintain the application locally. Users access SaaS application through a web browser, enabling anytime, anywhere access. So this is something that they ask in the question, okay? So anytime, anywhere access, okay, for SaaS. Popular SaaS applications include Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, Salesforce, pretty much any online software that you can think of is a SaaS. SaaS typically operates on a subscription model, allowing business to pay only for what they use. They provide managed service software updates. The provider manages software updates, maintenance, and security, reducing the burden on the end user IT team. This is why a lot of people are now going towards SaaS platform is because the local IT team in the company does not need to deal with it. It's usually dealt by those providers, right? They're just dealt. We just let them know this is a problem. They'll fix it. That's why we pay monthly. And PaaS, platform as a service. PaaS, platform as a service, provides a cloud-based platform that allows developers to build, deploy, and manage application without managing the underlying hardware or operating system. It includes tools such as database, deployment firmware, and middleware streaming the development process. Popular PaaS providers include Google App Engine, Microsoft Azure, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. PaaS supports scalable and efficient development, reducing the time and cost of building, testing, and deploying applications. It is ideal for organizations requiring rapid application development while avoiding the complexity of infrastructure management. Shared resources versus dedicated resources. Shared resources refers to servers, storage, and network infrastructure that are used by multiple users or tenants. Okay, so tenants are when you create your Microsoft Azure account, you actually rent a space in Azure or GCP or in AWS, and you're called a tenant. Okay, you're renting a small space. This module is typically more cost effective and scalable is because if I don't need anything, I'm not paying anything. If I'm using a little bit, I only pay for what I use. And if I need to use more, let's say typically why the users model is, let's say my company is only active from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And after that, it doesn't need anything. I can actually set it up that from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. is only when it's working. And maybe around lunchtime it goes down because I don't, most people, having lunch. So I can actually fluctuate it and pay only for what I use, and it's very very expandable, it's very customizable, it's very elasticity. Okay, you can pull it and push it. Dedicated resources are allocated exclusively for single user organization, provide higher performance control and security compared to shared environment. Well, obviously it costs more, right? It means like I can, so if this headset like I can have a share, meaning I can only use it for 2 hours a day. Whenever I like it, I only pay, or because that means somebody else can use it, right? And I might not be able to get it when I need it, right? Or I can say, no, no, I'm going to use this, I want it 100% for myself, and you pay a bit more for it. Okay. Shared resources are commonly found in public cloud environment where multiple customers use the same infrastructure, and usually you won't see it, you won't see them, it is isolated. Okay, but you have to remember on a public thing, it is shared with multiple users, but the interaction is not there. Dedicated resources are often used in private cloud or hybrid cloud setup, especially when the organization requires strict platform or compliance controls. The decision between shared and dedicated resource depend on factors such as cost, performance requirement, and security needs. Metered utilization, ingress and egress. So this is something that you have to make sure you remember. It's called ingress and egress. Okay. Meter utilization means the customers are charged based on their actual usage of cloud resource such as bandwidth, storage, and processing power. Ingress refers to data coming into the cloud from external source, while egress refers to data leaving the cloud to external destination. Both are charged. Okay, so just remember that in a lot of cloud platform, the input that's coming in and going out are charged. So most cloud platform. Okay, and also depends on the plan you get to. Cloud providers measure and may charge separately for ingress and egress traffic. Yes, they do have a separate charge. So ingress charges may be cheaper than egress charges. Okay, which can significantly affect the total cloud cost, especially for data heavy workload. In many cloud models, ingress is often free. Yeah, input is often free, or slightly very, very small charges, like 0.001 cents or something like that. While egress is typically incurs charges, and particularly when transferring large amount of data without data out of the cloud. Understanding metered user usage and data transfer costs help organizations better optimize cloud usage and control expense. And like usually when you study for any of those, either Azure fundamentals or AWS practitioner, or I think Google foundation certification, you'll learn how to actually do the proper cost calculation. There's actually a tool you can use that is provided by the cloud platform provider on how to do these calculations. Okay, and it gives you an estimated amount number. Elasticity. Sorry, I'm just my from lecturing. My mouth is just dry. Elasticity is the ability for automatically scaling resource up or down based on demands. ensuring optimal resource utilization. It allows organization to quickly adjust CPU, memory, and storage to handle workload spikes or reduce resources while low demand period. Elasticity improves cost effective efficiency by charging only for resources actively used instead of maintaining fixed capacity. Major providers like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud offers elasticity cloud services that dynamically allocates resources in real time. Elasticity is essential for businesses with variable workload, help avoid over provisioning and underutilization of cloud resources. What does this mean? Like, I just read this, right? But I'll tell you in layman terms. So, in case, let's say, I know in my company from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. when we do the most amount of sales, I want to have a lot of resources, right? Automatically, what the cloud will do is, okay, so it seems like the business is doing well. Let me give you more servers. Let me give you more storage. Let me give you more bandwidth so you can use this. And when it becomes like 2 o'clock or so, everybody's slowing down, right? Because everybody's preparing to go to work, go home. So and then it slows the resources down to minimums. It still keeps it up if I need it, but at least the minimum, so I'm not getting charged as much, right? So maybe at 9 o'clock I can be using $1,000 computer, $1,000 per minute, but at 2 p.m. I don't need it. Maybe I'm down to a $20 per minute computer, right? And this can happen automatically. And let's say all of a sudden at 12 o'clock, my websites start getting so much traffic, right? And I need more resources. You'll boom, wake up the elasticity services and make sure it turns on the service that needs for additional things. So it can automatically start adding in resources. Okay. And what I mean by resources, whatever it needs to perform well. Sometimes you might need an extra server. It might need more storage. It might need more network. It might need more RAM, right? Based on the needs, it'll add it more automatically and charge me for it as long as I configure it properly. Okay. Availability. Availability refers to the uptime and accessibility of cloud service and resource, ensuring they are reliable, accessible when needed. High availability is achieved through redundant systems, failover mechanisms, and distribution architectures, reducing downtimes during failures. Service level agreement, this is something you have to remember. Service level agreement SLAs. Okay, so there's a question, what can you define what is SLA? Defines guaranteed availability level, often targeting 99.9 uptime or higher. So this is what it means. Define guaranteed availability level, often targeting 99.9 up or higher. Okay. Cloud providers maintain availability by replicating data and services across multiple data center regions, enabling rapid recovery. This one, it depends on the type of cloud service you use. You might need to configure it. The difference between IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS. Depending on those, you'll be in charge of sometimes in IaaS, you're the one who's in charge of configuring the redundancy, right? Because if you want to add more, you'll have to pay more. If you just want to have one, you'll pay less, right? It depends on the service you choose. Okay. High availability is essential for mission critical application that requires continuous operation and minimal interruption. Multi-tenancy. Multi-tenancy allows a cloud provider to host multiple customer tenants on a single application or service while keeping each tenant's data and configuration isolated. It helps provide optimized resources and reduce costs by sharing infrastructure, storage, and computing power among users. Each tenant operates within its own virtual space, ensuring data separation, security, and privacy. Multi-tenants improves scalability, enabling providers to serve many customers with minimal additional overhead. It is commonly used in the SaaS, software as a service environment, where one software instance services multiple customer with isolated data. Okay, so pretty much that is the Core One Module One, and I believe this is module. I believe this is uh, module 4. That is for today. Give me just 1 second here. Let me go ahead and allow for. Okay, so okay. So I just allowed for the microphone to be thing. So that is basically Core One Module 1 and Core One Module 04. we covered. Okay, like I said, we did go pretty at a moderate speed. Do you guys have any questions? This is just focusing on exactly on passing the exam, right? These are things that it's been scaled out and removed. It's exactly what you need to study. Maybe you might have to watch this recording a couple of times to just memorize these terms, and this is what will be asked, okay, in the exams. Now, do you guys have any questions within the two modules that we have covered? You guys should be able to unmute yourself and talk. Okay, repeat. So PDF, the PDF will not be provided. It is for a thing, but you're more than welcome to look at the recording to get the writings from it. Okay.
Are we getting like a sample test or like a practice test now for
Yeah.
this?
Usually, what we'll do is once you're about to complete the course, you'll get the whole PDF book for with the examination. It has over 900 questions, I believe, per course, and it has
What
an
about the book?
answer and everything. The book is also included as well.
Okay, so the only thing we're receiving right now at the moment is just the video. We have to watch it again and again and just practice for it. Or
Yeah,
first KD.
so yeah, usually what we'll do is we'll give you the video and you'll also get access to the LMS, which has a video, right? That's all it does. But the LMS will also have the book that you can go and download from there too. Usually within 24 to 40 hours, you'll get access to the LMS. But right now, so by end of the day tomorrow, you guys will have access to this video recording as well. Soon as it's been uploaded, okay?
Okay, but we're we don't getting this PowerPoint at the moment right now
The
officially, or
the slides you don't get them, but the videos you do. The slides are because they're property of CTEC training. We're not allowed to distribute them, but the videos
okay,
recording we can. It,
okay,
it just it just we're just not from CompTIA's perspective. We're just not allowed to share the slides itself. We can give you the recording of the class.
okay. So after access is gonna be video in there, and the books
Yes,
might be
books.
there,
Yeah,
or
books
books.
will be there. Books will be there.
Okay, okay, perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's 24 to 48 hours, you
24
said,
to
right?
40 hours. There's just a lot of people in this batch, so just take the team to create the access, just slightly longer. But within 48
Okay,
hours, you guys will have them, no problem. But at least this video, as soon as the recording is done within 1 to 2 hours, by end of day tomorrow, I'll have this video uploaded and give you guys access to the video first at least. You guys will have it through email. Look through your email, you get a link to access the video, and then once the access has been created, you guys will all receive an email or WhatsApp message with email or WhatsApp message, whichever one, with the login credentials for the LMS.
perfect. And whatever you teach today, just basically is coming in exams, pretty
Yes,
much, right?
it's pretty much it is a filtered on content in the exam itself.
And what do you recommend? What do we have to remember everything? Like, the small part, like NFC, those kind of
Yeah, yeah,
definition.
yeah. And
So
usually,
could you
in,
could you could
go
you could you tell me how's like the pattern of the exam? Is MCQs in there, or is could you give me a little
hmm?
bit detail about how they look like exam
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
which
literally
is like
MCQs.
mind
Oh,
actually? Okay.
yeah, 95% of them are in MCQs. Okay, the other
And how
five
many?
95 are MCQs. The rest 5% are drag and drops. So they'll tell you, can you arrange this in the right order? Remember I told you about disconnecting certain things. I think in module one, put them in the right order. So there's drag and drop, but all of them are MCQ. You get 90 questions, 90 minutes to complete them. So minute per question.
Minute per question. That'll be all. Thank you.
No problem at all.
I just wanted to ask the PDF which you provide at the end,
Hmm?
what does it contain?
Which one?
Besides the PDF PDF, the document which you provide for the exam,
Hmm?
is all question and answers or
Yeah,
is some learning?
so it'll have some learning, and it'll be CompTIA approved questions, and
Okay,
it'll have also answer sheet as well, so you can go through them.
okay.
Yeah. So you can just mark the questions if you like, and then go through the answers and check which one's right or wrong and learn from there. And it'll tell you exactly why this is the right answer. It's not like, you chose A and this is A is the right answer, right? It tells you it's A and this is the reason why it's A. So you'll have a learning opportunity from there as well.
So beside the recording and the PDF file, is that more than enough for giving the exam, or do you have to do a
100%.
little deep learning?
So
Okay.
what I would suggest people who successful is this. I'll tell you that right now is the people who go through the videos a couple of times, just watch them and do the exams each modules at least until you get like 80% on the exams on each
Okay.
modules. Once you start getting 80%, let's say there's five modules, you get an average of 80% on each one of them. Go ahead and write the exam. Don't waste time.
Okay. Got it.
Don't leave too much time, because once you leave too much time you'll start forgetting the concept itself. So it's good to always, once you practice within a couple of weeks, just once you've done this course, do for a couple of days, get all the questions done. You'll see a trend. It'll start making sense to you, each questions. Once you guys have the in like 48 hours, once you guys have the LMS access, you guys should be able to download the PDF book, and you guys should be able to see that. Okay, you guys will see. Okay, this is a question. Oh yeah, this is common sense. And a lot of it will be like, okay, what is this connector? It'll show your image and be like, what is this connector is, right? And you'll have options for it. You just have to select it. That's how the MCQ will be.
Okay. No.
Yeah, and trust me, guys, the A plus, it's not too hard. It's not too hard. Don't complicate it. People complicate it. That's the reason why it's hard.
Okay.
So
Study
that
well
being
for it.
so that being said, just your videos and the mock test is good enough.
More than enough, man. More than enough.
Perfect, perfect.
More than
That's
enough.
that's what I'm just
Yeah,
to
yeah,
keep it
yeah.
simple.
Just don't like the people I see that fail is overcomplicated. They think it's too tough. It's too tough. Because the practice exam is meant to give you the worst case. Remember that, okay? So
Got it.
do that. That's why I say like 80%, 85%. Once you start getting the questions, go and write the exam. Don't waste too much time. Don't think about it too much. You know,
Understood.
yeah.
Okay.
So our next class is gonna be on Saturday. So in the whole week, so we just keep watching a video. Do you think can you provide like a sample task we can practice on it at the same
Yeah,
time?
the book has a module one, so you should be able to go through the module ones right away. As soon as you guys have access, it's not just the video itself. Go to the books and do the module ones, right? And that way, if you have questions, bring it up in the class, next class, when you guys have time.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because module one and module four, you guys should be able to write them and get, before the next class. And I'll tell the staff to create your account as soon as possible. It's just because we're so low on staff, and that's the reason why, right? So, but I'll tell them within 40 hours, you guys will definitely have access to the elements for sure. And once you have the book, go ahead and do the module one, again, like once or twice, and you should be okay. Module one is not too hard. It's very straightforward. Module 4 is very straightforward, right? So do them and get them practiced.
The practice test will it only be provided towards the end of the class or
No. You
towards?
guys will have it as soon as the LMS access is there. You guys will have the access
Okay,
to the PDF book, and that has the practice test and everything.
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. If that's all, you guys can disconnect. I'll see you all next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Again. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Fahad.
Just one quick question.
Mhm.
Once the video is uploaded, we have access to it a few times
You will have
just to
access to
rewatch everything, right?
unlimited times, not just few times,
Unlimited
unlimited,
time? Okay.
unlimited times. Yeah.
And along with it, would we also get access to the book PDF with also like the questions and what have you? Like how is it gonna work with the multiple what was it? The modulars inside the questions. Like I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, so the book will literally have the questions, and it'll say pick. It'll just be like a MCQ, right? You'll just what people have done in the past is they just write them on a piece of paper, or on they just mark the MCQ numbers, right? A question one, option A or B, right? And then you can refer to the answer sheet and see which one you got right or wrong. And from there, if you have gotten wrong, it gives you explanation on why this is the right answer. Study that, and that gives you much more clear understanding.
Okay then. Um alongside with that, within it,
Mhm.
how are we supposed to access it when we want to, like, for example, if we were doing, for example, modular each day,
Mhm.
how would we be able to get access or be able to try out the question to memorize their muscle memory for the, um,
100%. Soon as you
like,
have
how are
access,
we able to get access to that
so,
throughout the whole week before class?
yeah, well, give it about 48 hours. The staff will create the access for you guys. There's about 30 plus people in this batch, right? So it'll just take some time because there's some people who actually joined at 3 o'clock today. It just takes them some time to create the access. Give it about 48 hours. So which is today is what the Saturday. They're off tomorrow. So just, but I'll have the video uploaded at least and send you guys all the email. Okay, with the video. But by Tuesday, you should have access. End of day Tuesday, you guys should all have access to LMS. And in the LMS, you guys should be able to scroll all the way down to download the PDF books, okay? Which is for the exams and everything, for the practice questions and everything.
Oh, okay then. So by Tuesday it should be all there.
Yeah,
Would it be, like, for example, like how you describe, or would it be like a Word or Google document or something?
it'll be a PDF. It'll be an Adobe PDF document.
No worries.
Yeah.
I think I already answered my question already.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you. Thank you for it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night and have a good weekend. I'll see you all next week. Thank you.